Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rav Eliezer Melamed Shlit. We are midweek and we're learning the categorizations and the laws against speaking Sheker. So yesterday we looked at different categories of Sheker, and let's continue along those lines. And the next chapter is Shnei Sugei Sheker. Shnei Sugi Karim Shel Shekarim Yeshnam. There are two basic or essential categories of Sheker, of falsehood. Yesh Shekarim Shepogim bezolas. L'mashal adam shelo v'kesef ha'machajos. So there's a type of lie that can affect someone else. So, for instance, a person borrowed money and then completely denies it. Or someone who goes and gives false testimony in court so that he can help someone else. Or let's say someone seeks advice. Is it okay to buy this apartment, this car, whatever the item might be, and he doesn't tell the truth because he has a personal interest, a vested interest, whether this person should or shouldn't buy this item because he's not revealing perhaps something that's wrong there. So when all of the aforementioned types of lies or falsehoods or untruths, the person who's lying causes damage to someone else. Sometimes the damage is not necessarily measured in monetary terms, but in the sense of causing pain and suffering to someone else. Let's say someone gives some news or some sort of tidings to his friend, something that's completely false about something that happened. And he's just trying to stir things up, trying to make trouble, so you make up a story of some sort. Or if someone wants to go on a trip and you say, oh, it's not that good, it's terrible, there's too much traffic, it's not a good place to stay, because you don't want him to go for whatever reason. Even and this is, I know it sounds silly, but it's more common than you think, that maybe sometimes women don't share recipes, or they give over a recipe and they leave off ingredients or leave off one of the directions because they don't want the person to copy them or to have it or make it as good as she does. He says, even though he says, this type of sheker also has damage and it causes tsar to another. The more that the lie or the falsehood causes damage to another, that's how much more serious and stringent it is. The second category of sheker, let's say it's not necessarily causing a monetary loss or even pain or harm to another. Let's say someone who just wants to embellish his stories. Or, he changes details of the story, and as I said, he embellishes them, adds certain details. You're not actually causing damage to your friend by embellishing. Nevertheless, there is still a prohibition. Because what you're doing is, the damage that's caused through this types of falsehood is that you're creating a picture of the world that is false. It's corrupt. A person loses all sense of reality because if you can embellish any story, then who knows how to differentiate between what's real and what's not real. Both these categories of lies are prohibited. But the fundamental difference between the two of them is if it's going to cause harm, damage, loss to another person, then in no way is this type of lying permitted. But the second one, where you're embellishing, you're not actually causing harm to anyone else, maybe the harm is only to yourself. There are times when perhaps we can change a little bit or deviate a little bit from the truth. Perhaps cases, maybe we'll see this as we go on, if it's going to create an issue of shalom bias, of peace in the home, or perhaps you don't want to embarrass somebody, so you change a detail so it doesn't embarrass someone that's actually the opposite of causing harm. So maybe in that instance, you're allowed to embellish the story a little bit. Or perhaps changing some of the details, the places, so that people don't know what exactly you're talking about. And again, you have to use your seichel, your judgment, but in any event, we see that outright lying, certainly to cause harm to others, is something that is strictly prohibited according to the halacha. So I hope we try to stay on the straight and narrow and tell the absolute truth and nothing but the truth. Hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you here next time as we continue studying Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rav Eliezer Melamed Shlit.